A very good morning to all of you. Like in this, we have studied the autoimmunity, innate immunity. Today, we will move forward with this immune system in the body and AIDS. So, let's start with immune system in the body. So, as I told you, the human immune system consists of lymphoid organs, tissues, cells and soluble molecules like antibodies. Okay. So what happens is that, as you have read, immune system is unique in the sense that it recognizes foreign antigens, responds to these and remembers them. The immune system also plays an important role in the allergic reactions, in the autoimmune diseases and organ transplantation. Okay. So like you might be well versed with this now, that immune system, what it does, it basically strengthens the power or strengthens the ability of your body to fight against the foreign pathogens or the foreign diseases. Okay, disease causing organisms. Okay, so next if I talk about lymphoid organs. So what about lymphoid organs? Lymphoid organs are the organs where what happens in the lymphoid organs? The origin or maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. In the lymphoid organs, look, these are the organs where there is the mature, look, the lymphocytes mature here, okay, the proliferation of the lymphocytes occur here, over here in the lymphoid organs. If I tell you there are the primary and secondary lymphoid organs, beta, you need to remember this always, that the primary lymphoid organs are your bone marrow and thymus. Okay, where immature lymphocytes differentiate into antigen sensitive lymphocytes, and after maturation the lymphocytes migrate to secondary lymphoid organs. The secondary lymphoid organs will be like your spleen, lymph nodes, tonsils, Peyer's patches of small intestine and appendix. Okay. So the secondary lymphoid organs, what do they do is that they provide the sites for interaction of lymphocytes with the antigen. Okay. Which then proliferate to become effector cells. What happens is that the secondary lymphoid organs, what do? They basically provide the spaces or the area or the sites for the antigens to interact basically with the lymphocytes. Now, like here you can see the diagram over here. This is thymus. These are the lymph nodes, and these are your lymphatic vessels. Okay. So now here the bone marrow is the main lymphoid organ. The most important and the major lymphoid organ is your bone marrow. So the bone marrow is your main lymphoid organ, where blood cells, basically including lymphocytes, are produced. All the blood cells are produced here, okay, including lymphocytes. Now the thymus is a lobed organ located near the heart and beneath the breastbone. The thymus is, like you can look here, it is located just, where is it located? Just near the heart and beneath the breastbone. Next, if you see, the thymus is quite large at the time of the birth but keeps reducing in size with age, and by time puberty it attains, it reduces to a very small size. Look, you need to remember this line forever, that look, what happens in the case of thymus is, when you are born, when you are newly born, the thymus is basically bigger or larger in size. But with age, with time, this organ tends to become smaller. It is basically reduced. Its size reduces day by day. Okay, and as you hit puberty, it attains a very small size. Okay. Now, both the bone marrow and thymus provide microenvironments for the development and the maturation of T lymphocytes. What happens is that the bone marrow as well as the thymus, they both provide the microenvironment for the development and maturation of T lymphocytes. so that the T lymphocytes could be matured. Now, if I talk about spleen, in the case of the spleen is a large bean-shaped organ. Okay, spleen looks like a bean, and it mainly contains, what does it contains? It contains lymphocytes and phagocytes also. Spleen is having the two major things. First one is lymphocyte, second one is your phagocyte. And what it does? It acts as a filter of the blood by trapping the blood-borne microorganisms. Okay. Then if we see this, if you see, spleen also had a large reservoir of erythrocytes. Spleen contains erythrocytes, the RBCs. Then the lymph nodes are small solid structures located at different points along the lymphatic system. Lymph nodes serve to trap the microorganisms or other antigens. Okay. Now next, like here you can see there is lymphoid tissue also located within the lining of the major tracts. Lymphoid tissue lines your major tracts or the systems like your respiratory one, your digestive, your urogenital tract. Okay, so they are totally called as MALT. MALT is your mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. MALT is your mucosa associated lymphoid tissue, and they basically constitute about 50% of the lymphoid tissue in your human body. Next, if we see AIDS, as you know, AIDS, the full form for AIDS is your acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Okay, so this means basically deficiency of immune system acquired during the lifetime of an individual, indicating that it is not a congenital disease. What happens is that in this, first of all, immune system is not able to work or to function properly. Okay, then syndrome means now AIDS was firstly reported in 1981. During 1981, the very first case of AIDS was observed. Okay, and in the last 25 years or so, it has spread all over the world, killing more than 25 million persons. Next, AIDS is caused by, now what is the reason, what is the cause of AIDS? The cause for AIDS is HIV. HIV is your human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, it is basically a member of group of virus that are called as the retroviruses. Okay, and now which have an envelope enclosing the RNA genome. Transmission of HIV infection generally occurs by sexual contact with infected person. Okay, if you see, so HIV infection is basically transmitted by either the sexual contact with infected person or by the transfusion of contaminated blood. If the blood is not pure, it is contaminated, and the blood products. Okay, next, if you are sharing any infected needles, as in case of intravenous drug abusers, what are they? Intravenous drug abusers are basically, intravenous means jaw injection, the injections that are being given into your veins, they are called as intravenous. Okay, intravenous injections. And from infected mother to her child through placenta. Okay, so people who are at higher risk of getting this infection includes individuals who have multiple sexual partners, drug addicts who take drugs intravenously. It is also a thing that if you are taking the drugs intravenously, you are injecting the drugs onto your body, and you are inoculating the drugs onto your body via veins or via intravenously. So it is there is a chance of you to develop AIDS. Okay. Next, drug addicts who take drugs intravenously, individuals who require repeated blood transfusions, and children born to an HIV infected mother. Do you know when do people need repeated blood transfusion? Find out and make a list of such conditions. It is important to note that HIV AIDS is not spread by mere touch or physical contact. Look, it is not a matter of thing that if you are touching somebody like this only and you are just going to develop a disease called as AIDS. No, it's not like that. Okay, it's not like that at all. And if we take it further, there is always a time lag between the infection and appearance of AIDS symptoms. It's not like that you will just develop the disease within minutes or seconds. No, it's not like that at all. It's basically a concept or process that takes time, that takes some time. It will give you the signs, it will show you the symptoms. Okay, so this is all about the lymphoid organs and your brief introduction about AIDS. Next we'll discuss in the next class. Thank you, class.